Module number 4, enclosed space entry. In this module, we're going to discuss the process that should be followed should an entry into enclosed space be absolutely required. The first step is that entries are only permitted on vessels which are not in passenger service. If an entry is needed, the E&E department should be contacted and they will then ask for a rescue team to attend the ship and a chemist to attend to check the atmosphere is safe for entry. As I've said before, the preferred method is for external parties to enter the space on our behalf. However, if an entry is absolutely necessary, then the process in this module should be followed. A competent person needs to be appointed. A competent person is somebody who is trained in enclosed space entry and completion of permit to works. The role of the competent person is to make an assessment of the space to see what the hazards are and what mitigations need to be put in place before entry is permitted. The space should be opened and thoroughly ventilated. This would be ventilated in accordance with the Code of Safe Working Practice. There's more details on that on Chapter 15. The preferred method for us is always going to be using a fan to force the dirty air, if you will, out of the space and replace it with clean air. We'll do this for as long as possible and with as many openings to the space opened. A plan for ensuring safe access should be made. This would take into account any fall from height risks or anything else involving awkward access. As we said before, the assessment of the atmospheric conditions needs to be carried out. This will be done using a certified chemist, and maximum validity for readings are going to be 24 hours or more frequently if deemed appropriate by the competent person. Permit to work for entry into enclosed space must be completed. These cannot be extended beyond 24 hours. This forces everybody involved to recheck that all the safeguards are in place each time a new permit's issued. The space must be confirmed to be properly illuminated. We wouldn't want to be taking any forms of ignition into the space. Obviously, the assessment made by the chemist would hopefully deem that there isn't any explosive gases in the space. However, to be on the safe side, we wouldn't take any sources of ignition. So in order to make sure we comply with this, we need to make sure that any torches we take into a space are intrinsically safe. Obviously, there may come occasions that work is needed to be carried out in a space which could cause a source of ignition. Therefore, we need to be extra careful when assessing the atmosphere to make sure that this risk is mitigated as much as possible. All people entering the space must be wearing portable gas monitors. These are calibrated in fresh air, like we spoke about in an earlier module. They must be within their required service interval. A rescue plan needs to be formulated. So this is with the rescue team that would be on site, organised by the E&E department. The competent person would need to discuss with them what the rescue plan is in the event of an emergency taking place. This discussion should also include those people entering the space so they know what steps they may need to take. And if deemed appropriate by the competent person, a drill would need to be completed. So goes without saying, the qualified rescue team need to be in attendance. These are people who are trained in not only enclosed space entry, but most importantly, enclosed space rescue. They will bring with them rescue equipment such as BA sets, like the BA sets we wear on the car deck for dealing with dangerous goods incidents. The only difference is these BA sets often have a mask and the tank is kept remotely. So there's a long pipe between the air cylinders and the mask. This allows people to enter the space without wearing the bottles, or they can take the bottles off their back to squeeze through small spaces. So the rescue team would have all the equipment and be trained in enclosed space rescue. The equipment and the rescue team must remain in the immediate vicinity of the space whilst the entry is being carried out. A method of communication must be established and then tested regularly whilst the entry is underway. This is communication between the people inside the space, the people outside the space, the rescue team, and the captain of the ship. Those inside the space should have access to emergency escape breathing equipment, such as a form of air and a hood or mask, which is put over the face. The captain of the ship or the person in charge of the ship needs to be informed before the entry is taking place. So while as the people go into the space and once they're safely out. And finally, on completion, all equipment must be removed and the space must be properly secured.